Hello there, greetings, welcome back to another review. So going to be having a look at another classic Kung Fu movie here today, starring the awesome John Liu and the amazing Huang Jianli, sort of following on, in a way, following on from my Invincible Armour review that was, seems ages ago now, but if you haven't seen Invincible Armour, you must go and check that movie out. And this film here that I'm about to look at here today is definitely much in that same kind of vein, and it's another sort of old school classic, and that is Snuff Bottle Connection. So a lot to say about this one. As I say, great Kung Fu classic with John Liu and Huang Jianli. Largely the same people involved with this movie as well as like Invincible Armour. I believe this film was made around, I want to say 1977. I think it's definitely pre-78, but I think it must have been around 77, around that time. I know I've said it before, but the powers that be really should get around to releasing a John Liu box set. Eureka at 88 Films, if you're listening, we really do need a John Liu collection box set, or a Huang Jianli one would be absolutely awesome. Both of these two guys, they're such classics in the Kung Fu world. They're such great Kung Fu performers. We really do need a box set from the pair of them. Though, like I say, with John Liu, he didn't go on to sort of achieve much success after the Kung Fu boom of the later 70s, and mainly sort of worked on independent films. He was very much a hugely important star and figure when it comes to classic Kung Fu stars. His filmography isn't exactly super massive, but John Liu is definitely one of the guys. When you talk of, like I say, classic Kung Fu stars, John Liu he's up there, right? He's definitely up there in terms. As I say, if you've seen your Jackie Chans, you've seen your Sammo Hungs, that kind of thing, owe it to yourself to go and check out some John Liu movies, and check out some Huang Jianli movies as well, like Hitman in the Hand of Buddha. Hell's Wind Staff is another one. There's to say that these two guys really do have some great Kung Fu movies under their belt. That like Huang Jianli, you just know from Snake and the Eagle's Shadow, Drunken Master. Check out some of his other work, because there's a lot to be enjoyed there. His, like I say, filmography not massive, John Liu, but as I say, he's so important nonetheless. Along for the ride in this one, we also have Roy Horan playing a Russian, who I'm sure many of you remember from Game of Death 2 and Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. As I say, it's largely the same people involved with this movie as Invincible Armour. Produced by Eun Si-yoon, I believe, and I'm right in saying we have Yuen Woo-ping here doing the action choreography. I think Yuen Woo-ping is the guy doing, or the Yuen Clan are the people doing the action choreography here. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it is Yuen Woo-ping doing the action here. We have Yuen Biao and Corey Yuen here involved as background extras and stuntmen in places, and Yun Shin-yi is here too, mainly used as I say, extras and stuntmen. Now, out of the two movies, I will say, between Snuff Bottle Connection and Invincible Armour, I probably prefer Invincible Armour. I think that, to me, is probably just a bit more classic than what this film is. But make no mistake, there's still a lot to be enjoyed with Snuff Bottle Connection. So I think, so that's only if you put me on the spot. If you was to put me on the spot, I know I had to pick one. But I love both movies very, very much. I mean, you have some really talented people involved with the production on this. Though Woo-ping the fights start great, there's nothing mind-blowing about the fights necessarily in this movie. To start, and the film isn't like sort of non-stop fight, but as the film progresses and thing gets ramped up, the fights do actually get better. And like I've said before, any film with John Liu and Huang Jianli involved, you know you're going to be in good hands. You know it's going to be a Kung Fu movie worth checking out. But don't get me wrong, I still love Snuff Bottle Connection very much. I'm just saying, if you was to say, right, Invincible Armour or Snuff Bottle, at a push, I'd probably go Invincible Armour. So the Russians are coming, right? And it's all unexpected, and the general is suspicious of what they want, and they think maybe it's all about like a port or something like that. We see Roy Horan arriving by carriage. He plays Colonel Tolstoy, of all things. You get quite an epic opening in this one with music and the vast landscapes, with the general's man like riding on a horse after spotting the carriage. So when you have like Eun Si-yoon producing, and as far as I know, this is a Yuen Woo-ping choreographed film, again, it has to be one to check out. As I say, 'cause this is the people involved with Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. So Roy Horan was in Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. As I say, Lewis in Game of Death 2 is also in Roy Horan, very like blink and you miss it, but he was also in No Retreat, No Surrender 2, Raging Thunder. I have to get round to reviewing sort of the sequels to No Retreat, No Surrender, because there's a lot to say about them. So So Tolstoy sort of arrives, and has like a toast, and the governor wants to know like who's Tolstoy's contact is. Nothing like being super suspicious right away, because he's just arrived. He wants to know why he's here, what's going on, what's his business here, why has he come over, and he's, like I say, he's just all paranoid. So he's super suspicious. So these two Russians, one with a like great big orange barnet, like mob of hair, go to the local inn, and they do what foreigners always do in this movie. And what do you think that is? So if it's kung fu movie, it's got a foreigner in it, what do they usually do if they go to the local inn or tea house or whatever it may be? They start causing trouble. As always, they have to cause trouble, just there for no other reason than to cause trouble. They demand the best food and the best wine, and the young waiter is actually the boy from Invincible Armour as well, just so you know. So we have Yun Chun-Yis here sitting at a table watching. Naturally, a fight breaks out, and the Russians causing trouble for no reason whatsoever. They're just causing trouble. It doesn't matter what film it is. If there's a foreigner in it, they're going to be causing trouble at the restaurant. Yun Chun-Yi gets shot by Roy Haran, and they make a big deal that he has like a gun in this movie. So yeah, he gets shot and then ambushed as he's been sent by Chancellor Fu to investigate. And just when you think Yun Chun-Yi is going to be in it for a long time, just when you think Yun Chun-Yi is going to be, okay, he's one of the people who's going to last throughout the movie, he's one of the characters throughout the movie, he gets arrowed to death. So that's the end of him. So the Chancellor in his paranoid state suspects there is a traitor and sends in Sham Tian-Shen to investigate. And that's John Liu's character. So John Liu actually makes quite a late entrance. Not too late, but he's not there right from the get-go in this movie. So we have Huang here as our villain, who is getting worried, and they hide up his face really weirdly when we first meet him. One point with like this bird as well, and it looks really odd the way they shoot it. Like it almost looks like they put the camera in the wrong place. It's not done sort of subtly at all. They're just sort of trying to like cover up, hide his face. And he plans to give Tolstoy a map of the like sort of coastal defence. Basically, he's selling out sort of their defence to Tolstoy, who's come. I say Tolstoy of all names they could have picked. He's going to like say about their defences, and he's going to give it to Tolstoy. That's basically the gimmick, like the print of the plot. He's like, just call all strangers. So John Liu's character arrives. And though I didn't have much confidence in his character at first, he's like when John Liu arrives, his first question, like to prove like I wasn't too on board with his character, right? When I've seen this film numbers of times over the years, but I always remember one of his first questions is Tolstoy's gun powerful? Well, it's a gun, it's like it's a gun. That's all you need to know, John Liu. That is all you need to know. It's a gun. His mission, should he choose to accept it, is to find out who the strangers are and what's going on, basically. Though he needs assistance from his gambler friend Kyo, Yip Fei Yang. Our introduction to him is him trying to gamble some free meat as this guy is trying to cut his fingers. So this guy's like a skillful pickpocket, and Liu can like use his skills. And quite a cool slapstick scene here where he's having a fight with this very, very young kung fu kid who is sort of extremely, extremely talented. The girl he is dating, her father doesn't like him because he said he cheated him and just sent some axemen in to take him out. I swear one of them is actually, with these axemen, Yun Chun-Yi again. And you will notice that, and it happens in Invincible Armour as well. Like you see Corey Yun or somebody like that, and then they've been killed or they're in a fight, and then they're another character in another scene about like 10-20 minutes later or at the end fight of the movie. And that's what happens here. I think you see Yun Chun-Yi again, even though before this he's just been arrowed to death, but yeah, sort of in a background here. So the kid from earlier comes in to help, comes in to help him, and look out for this kid, like when he does like consecutive backflips he does. And I think the kid's name is Wong Yat Lung. He then gets ambushed by a masked John Liu in a nice cool little fight scene. I mean, Cal at this point he's had one hell of a busy day, right? This pickpocket that John Liu's sort of recruiting, like he's had his dad starting him, his girlfriend's dad, and then he's like I say he's getting in trouble with trying to get some meat and things like that. So he's had a bit of a busy day. So them two are friends and decide to go for a drink. John Liu says he needs his help because he can throw a knife and his steel darts can be used to beat the Russian guns, basically. So the Russians lose at gambling, and what is their answer to this? They start beating everyone up again. So they cause hassle at a restaurant. They they're bad losers when it comes to gambling, and because they got bad tempers, they just start causing trouble again. Look out for Yuen Bu here as well. He's sort of in the background, as I say, extra stunt work, and that's what a lot of say, especially sort of like Jackie Chan, Yuen Bu, they're all, Yuen Wah, all of them, they were all doing extra background stunt work at this point, just trying to get into the industry, taking whatever work they could, basically. The boy runs off to find Gao and informs him about the foreigners, so him and John Liu basically go to sort it out. Like after they're causing trouble at the gambling den, they go to find, his name's Gao or Go or Co or one of them names. I've heard it called different things, but anyway, the boy runs off, and he tries to get John Liu and his new pickpocket friend to come and help after the Russians are causing loads of trouble. So they get there, and Tolstoy turns up just as you think a fight is going to break out, and to see John Liu do his thing, Tolstoy gets a lion dance in his honour, and Co is the lion and like sort of snags his snuff bottle. John wonders why he would have a snuff bottle that is obviously Chinese and valuable, and it's a mark of imperial favour, and it's a rare jade. So like sort of why does Tolstoy have this sort of snuff bottle? Because when the film title's Snuff Bottle Connection, it's like there's your title right there. Like they've got a hand on his snuff bottle. It's a this is a lead, this is a connection to sort of what's going on. Snuff Bottle Connection. You see what they did? So they're wondering why Tolstoy's got this snuff bottle. Huang won't give Tolstoy the map unless he has a snuff bottle. Is that sort of his means of identification, that the bottles come in pairs? John thinks they have something to go on and a lead. And worth noting at this point in the movie that John Liu really hasn't had much to do in terms of action. Like you're sort of waiting for him to unleash his fury and unleash his kicks and do his thing, but he's quite reserved, sort of initially at the start, more so than Invincible Armour, definitely. I think Invincible Armour has a lot more regular action. In this film, John Liu, you're still waiting for him to sort of kick ass, basically. The plot is fairly simple, but there's loads to be enjoyed here. No classic, I don't think, but it's well worth your time. So we see Roy Horan showing off his physique, and he practices kung fu. Philip Ko turns up as the guy to give him the map, but he needs identification. As I say, the snuff bottle is means of identification to prove like you are the guy that's, you're in league with me. Obviously he can't, as his bottle was being stolen. Roy Horan's bottle was being stolen, and the guy flees. Ko catches up with him and he's like, who are you? You have made a mistake and you asked for it. Usual kung fu dialogue happens here. Out of nowhere, some armed guards come out, much like Invincible Armour. People just appear, right? People just appear out of nowhere. They could be in the wilderness, in the sticks, in the most remote forest in the world, and people would just spring out of nowhere from God knows when. Suddenly your old master's there, just come out from behind this hedge that you didn't even know he was there, and just suddenly people are there. And this is when you see like his knife throwing abilities. Two of these guns have like a scythe on a chain, which to be honest is quite badass. And I love the sound effects they have going on here too. Liu randomly joins in too after coming out of nowhere, and we finally get to see him do some move, which to be fair is the coolest scene of the movie up to this point. But I say again, people just spring out of nowhere and they all automatically know where everybody is at one given time. Happens in Invincible Armour, happens in this movie. Doesn't need to make sense though. It's a kung fu movie. So let's say he comes out nowhere. John Liu goes to report and sees Philip Ko scarred and realises he is the one that is helping conspire with the Russians. So you have Huang Jianli, Yun Xing Yun producing, all involved with Drunken Master. Even have Xu Xia, like the King of Sticks guy from, say, Drunken Master here, when Huang is practicing his Iron Fan technique. Philip Ko is told to go kill John Liu, while Tolstoy personally goes to take out Liu and Gao using his gun. Then some other fighters turn up too to take on, like, from Huang Jianli, who gets sort of Philip Ko for he's sort of Huang Jianli gets super PO'd Philip Ko for sort of revealing his style, because he's sort of why have you revealed the style, like for using his snake, I think it's Snake Hawk he uses, or the Snake Hawk style or Snake Hawk technique or something along them lines, as this will sort of blow his cover. Huang basically kicks the crap out of him and kills Philip Ko at this point, just takes him out. And the idea with this style is that it's two styles at once, which is quite cool. I like that. I think that's quite a cool gimmick, rather than just you're practicing Crane, you're practicing this. The idea with this style is it is two styles at once. Liu and Gao track down someone called Yu who practices that technique, but he's been murdered, who practices the same technique that Philip Ko was using. Again, Don't worry too much about what I'm saying. Don't worry about too much about the characters I'm saying, because I am crashing through the plot here like I do with a lot of my reviews. But to say, I'm probably tripping over myself with some of the names and everything, but just go with it. I'm just trying to go through the film, just give you a brief idea sort of what happens. Anyway, they piece it together that like sort of Huang Jianli is the traitor and Lu pays him a visit. Whilst it's there, it's just something like, why is it there's just something so menacing about Huang Jianli? You know, like when Lo Lei's sort of like Pame and he's got like sort of the white hair and the get up on. There is something so menacing and something just so kung fu when Huang Jianli has the whole, like I say, the white hair and the massive eyebrows. It just screams kung fu movie, and he just looks so cool like that. Lu shows him the snuff bottle. They let John Lu go and plan to kill him. Look out for a blink and you miss it shot of Corey Yun here. So it's Huang's men ambush Gao, tie him to a wheel and start smashing his hands in with a rock. And you want flexible, right? You look at the way this kid who is used as a bait sort of unties himself. Like the top half is like of his body is on the floor, and his legs sort of are going over himself, and he's sort of trying to untie sort of the shackle, like the ropes on his legs and everything. And you've got to see it to believe it. This kid is like the most flexible kid I've ever seen. Like it looks unnatural what this kid is doing, but you're just sitting there like, how the hell is he doing that? It's just absolutely ridiculous. Lu turns up and just watch the spin kicks, the speed and the combos, just truly amazing stuff. Really get to see him do his thing here, taking out these henchmen with swords. So Gao, now injured, is being looked after by Lu. So the boy's being followed, so they've sort of gone into hiding. He's being nursed. Lu goes out to sort of get some medicine. The boy's being followed by the Russians' henchmen just as Lu pops out to go and get sort of some medicinal supplies. Been easy. I mean, he goes out to get him. Surely it would have been easier to send the boy. So he leaves the boy alone with Gao for, you know, when surely maybe it might have been best to send the boy. But anyway, Lu goes. And so the Russians come in with swords to assassinate Gao, and the boy actually gets killed after trying to save him and gives Gao his slingshot. And it's weird, this movie. It's one of them movies that you aren't really sure. It's one of them. It's odd to say, but it's one of them films you're not actually sure you're enjoying it, but you actually are, if you know what I mean. It's one of them movies that, especially when I've seen it, especially the first few times I saw it, I wasn't sure if I was into it or enjoying it, but when you look back and the film finishes, you think, actually, I really love that. It's one of them kind of movies. You aren't really sure you're enjoying it, but trust me, you are. Thankfully, Lu comes back in the nick of time to kick these guys' asses, even actually using a sword on his foot at one point to kill one of them, which has to be seen to be believed. And I love with the music, Gao and Lu are fuming and naturally plan to get revenge. A spy tells them where Huang is meeting Tolstoy, accuse some like manic horse riding that they always have in these kind of movies, showing off the landscape, riding like the wind, and just like say manic horse riding. Huang, though, was wise, and the rendezvous was an ambush. Funny, they arrive and get shot by like 50 odd arrows, and John Lu is like, it's an ambush. You think? You've just had 50 arrows fire at you. It could, again, possibly, guns are quite powerful. 50 arrows could be sign that it is an ambush, John Lu. It could be an ambush. So I think you see Corey Yun here again as one of the spear wielders. You know, I was saying the fights ramp up. Well, here out of nowhere, we get some amazing weapon work in the movie. And I mean amazing. We get spears, benches, swords, you name it. Fisticuffs, and out of nowhere, you get an amazing long fight scene, which the film so needed at this point. As I say, it's not fight. But at the end, as I say, it's one of them films. It's a bit like Half-Life of Kung Fu with Jackie Chan. You watch the initial fights, there's nothing really amazingly groundbreaking there, but then you go to the end fight and everything seems totally ramped up, and it's the same here with Snuff Bottle Connection. So they find a message about where the real rendezvous is, and I love when Lu and Gao catch up with them. They are like Haran and Huang are doing their evil laugh about their evil plan. Typical evil kung fu laugh. So it starts with a 2 versus 2 fight. Just the only snag is Tolstoy gets beaten so easily. You think Roy Haran is going to be like a really formidable opponent, but he just gets taken out so easily. So it sort of eventually becomes I was expecting more than that at the end fight, which is such a shame. I needed more Roy Haran action. Needed more Haran in this one, because they really do big him up like he's going to be a real big foe at the end of the movie, but he gets beaten so easily. Needed to say, which is a shame. Quickly becomes a 2 versus 1 against Huang's Iron Fan. It's fast, it's inventive, it's energetic, and it's great end fight. Awesome fan work here from Huang. 2 amazing kickers, but it's nice we get to see their fist work here too, between him and John Lu. And I love how it's not overly over that quick either. Gao ends up stabbing him, and Lu deals the final blow. Yip Fei Yang, I swear to God, his eye is actually bruised at the end of this movie. The guy playing Gao, his eye does actually look bruised at the end of the movie. He definitely took a hit it from somewhere, because I don't think that's any makeup. He does look actually like he's actually bruised. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean. Lou recovers the map, and that's the end of the movie. I crashed through it there, really crashed through it, but there's loads to be enjoyed here. Definitely an old school movie worth checking out. As I say, if you've got Eun Si-yoon involved, Yun Woo Ping doing choreography, we've got Roy Horan, John Liu, Hwang Jian-lee. It's maybe not as classic to me as Invincible Armour, but Snuff Bottle Connection is definitely one worth checking out, and still a great late night kung fu movie that you definitely owe it to yourself to see. So make sure to go and check out Snuff Bottle Connection. Story is a bit rushed, but I hope you enjoyed the review nonetheless, and I'll see you soon.
Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.